What if 2 movies could have prepared us for a global pandemic? Sounds far-fetched, right? But that's exactly what 28 Days Later and Contagion did. As the world grappled with COVID-19, these films suddenly felt less like fiction and more like eerie predictions. So what clues did these 2 classics leave for us when they came out almost 18 years before COVID happened? And how did they foresee real-world events so accurately? Released in 2002, 28 Days Later redefined the zombie genre with its fast-moving infected and societal collapse. Contagion, a 2011 film, offered a scarily realistic portrayal of a pandemic, from patient zero to global chaos. These films were more than just entertainment. They became blueprints for understanding pandemics. Today, their relevance is undeniable. In 28 Days Later, we see the catastrophic impact of delayed action. The film opens with the protagonist waking up in a deserted hospital, only to find that society has collapsed in his absence. The failure to quarantine and isolate the infected early on leads to rapid societal breakdown, with the virus spreading uncontrollably. This scenario is chillingly similar to the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. Governments around the world struggled to respond quickly, and delayed actions in implementing lockdowns and quarantine measures led to widespread transmission and overwhelmed healthcare systems. The initial hesitancy to enforce strict measures allowed the virus to spread unchecked, mirroring the chaos depicted in 28 Days Later. The film teaches us the critical importance of swift and decisive action in the face of an outbreak. Early quarantine and isolation can prevent the collapse of healthcare systems and save countless lives. It's a stark reminder that in a pandemic, every moment counts, and delays can have catastrophic consequences. Contagion hit closer to home with its portrayal of misinformation and the scramble for a vaccine. In the early days of COVID-19, misinformation was rampant, and clear communication was vital but often lacking. Social media and various platforms were flooded with rumors, conspiracy theories, and false cures, causing widespread confusion and fear. Just like in the film, this misinformation undermined public trust in health authorities and made managing the pandemic even more challenging. The film also highlighted the race for a vaccine, mirroring the unprecedented speed at which COVID-19 vaccines were developed. Scientists and pharmaceutical companies around the world worked tirelessly, cutting through red tape and accelerating timelines to create effective vaccines in record time. Contagion depicted a similar urgency and collaboration among global researchers, emphasizing the critical role of scientific innovation and cooperation in combating a pandemic. Contagion showed us that public trust and accurate information are crucial in managing a pandemic. The movie illustrated the consequences of a fractured public trust, where people turned to unreliable sources in the absence of clear, consistent messaging from authorities. This was seen in the COVID-19 pandemic as well, where mixed messages from officials and politicization of the virus response led to skepticism and resistance to health measures, such as mask wearing and vaccination. Ultimately, Contagion serves as a stark reminder of the importance of combating misinformation and maintaining public trust through transparent, science-based communication. It underscores the need for preparedness, not just in terms of medical supplies and infrastructure, but also in fostering a well-informed and cooperative public. These films got so many things right about pandemics, from the importance of early intervention to the challenges of ensuring public compliance and combating misinformation. They serve as powerful reminders of the critical lessons we must learn and the actions we must take to better prepare for future pandemics. How did they get it so right? Both 28 Days Later and Contagion achieved their striking realism and predictive accuracy by working closely with experts and consultants in the fields of epidemiology and public health. For Contagion, director Steven Soderbergh and screenwriter Scott Z. Burns sought the expertise of renowned epidemiologists, including Dr. W. Ian Lipkin, a professor at Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health and director of its Center for Infection and Immunity. Dr. Lipkin, known as a microbe hunter, provided critical insights into virus transmission, containment strategies, and the global impact of pandemics. He advised on the scientific accuracy of the film, ensuring that it depicted realistic scenarios such as the spread of the virus through respiratory droplets and contaminated surfaces, which were later mirrored during the COVID-19 pandemic. Similarly, the creators of 28 Days Later paid close attention to the depiction of societal collapse and the rapid spread of infection. While not explicitly mentioned, the film's realistic portrayal of a virus outbreak and the ensuing chaos likely drew from existing knowledge of infectious diseases and human behavior during crises. This attention to detail made the film's scenario eerily similar to the real-world impact of COVID-19. Both films managed to get so much right about pandemics because they incorporated expert knowledge and realistic representations of how viruses spread and societies react. By doing so, they not only created compelling narratives, but also inadvertently provided valuable lessons that became highly relevant during the COVID-19 pandemic. Fiction often mirrors reality, sometimes in ways we wish it didn't. 28 Days Later and Contagion provided a framework for understanding the complexities of a pandemic. They taught us that swift action, clear communication, and public trust are vital. As we continue to navigate the aftermath of COVID-19, these lessons remain crucial. These films remind us that being prepared isn't just about having the right tools, but also the right mindset. If you liked this video, please let us know by clicking like, commenting, or subscribing. It's the best way for us to know how to refine the channel going forward.